All right, enough of that. I finally got it working. Oh my God, I'm telling you. You get used to like a particular format, right? I mean, I've done thousands of YouTube videos, and you just get used to doing it a very specific way when you're using third-party software like OBS, or I use Slobs. And even though you think it'd be almost exactly alike, there's little differences. And I guess on Rumble, you actually need to have authorization. YouTube, you don't. You link them together, but Rumble hasn't yet, I guess, caught up with the times and allowed you to do automatic linkages, so you have to get the proper credentials. But anyways, I guess I'm live. I see some people out there migrating over from the other video, which was going to be the test stream. This is going to be the new test stream, so everything that I put out there on the old test stream, I'm going to have to change, or people are going to go to the wrong place. I do have it on 720 quality, and I'm noticing a couple things already that differ from YouTube. The sharpness of the image, it doesn't seem to be as crisp as YouTube, and I don't know if that's because it's on the playback right now, or maybe that's the way I have it. But does it see? Do you see it as a little bit less quality than the YouTube videos normally? I mean, I can go to a 1080 if I really wanted to. I just prefer 720 because it's lower bandwidth. You don't need as much bit rate and things of that nature. So, anyways, I did figure it out, but I'm not too thrilled with the quality so far. Maybe it's just me. But you know what? I'll look on the playback, right? Sometimes they reduce the live and then the playback's a little bit higher. But right now it just looks a little fuzzy. I know I've got some green screen problems back here. That's because the time of day, even though I've got a ring light right there, I need to get a better little background lighting. And I have something for it, but I haven't utilized it. So anyways, yes, I'm going to be kind of making the jump over to Rumble a little bit. It's not going to be that I'm not going to do YouTube videos. I'm still going to make YouTube videos. And the way that Rumble works, apparently, there's 4 different options you can have when you upload to Rumble. They're licensing options. One of them is basically you're giving them exclusive rights. You get a little bit more money for that, but I don't want to do that because obviously I don't want to give up my rights to the videos on YouTube. And I will be porting them all over. I've already started that process. It's a sync process that ports all the videos you have on YouTube from one channel to whatever channel you designated to on Rumble. That takes upwards of several weeks because I mean these are thousands of videos that I have. So that's going to take some time, and I guess it does it all at once. So right now it shows no videos except for this one or the last one, which I'll be deleting. But all the copies of the videos I have from YouTube will be ported over here. So the other licensing option is basically it's similar to YouTube. You're giving them the right to monetize the video and to put advertising on it, but you have exclusive rights to it. But that means that you can't give rights to YouTube. I don't want to do that. The other option is a Rumble Player where you control your own content. You can delete it. It's your content. They still have the right to monetize it, but they won't promote it, I don't think. But you still have the ability to make some money off of it, which never hurts, right? And then of course the private mode or something like that, or personal mode, I think it's called, just allows you to upload videos, and that's it. So there's 3 or 4 levels of monetization, I guess you can have, or at least licensing rights. And the fourth one being the highest, the third one being the second to highest, the third, So I went with the second highest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one has no monetization. The second one, limited monetization, but you maintain rights to your videos. And then the higher ones. I don't need the higher ones. I'm not interested in that. I did make some people moderators, as you can tell. Hey, Dan the Machine. Wait, is that Dan, like the Dan from the Machine, like from the old school Dan? Is that Dan? April says, now that you're streaming, why Rumble, not Twitch or something? I have Twitch, but Twitch is so custom made for gaming. And even though I might have games on here, I started a game called Cyberpunk 2077. It's a great game, actually. It's just, I don't know. For some of the reason, certain platforms are tailored more to certain things. Rumble's more tailored more to freedom of speech, which I am a free speech advocate. I'm not an absolutist, but I definitely want free speech. I think that YouTube is limiting people's speech. I think they have massive issues, obviously, in their way they review things because, as you guys know, I've been flooded with DMCA's and privacy things, and even though the privacy stuff doesn't affect my channel, it comes up and it says, it tells you that they're not going to do anything. It's the DMCA's that I'm concerned about, because I've already had false DMCA's, and even though YouTube have said straight up that they are denying them outright, usually you dispute them, right? But YouTube said no, these are bad DMCA's, and they're concerned about. They even said we are concerned about how bad they were. So that's what I'm kind of concerned about, these false DMCA strikes. And I like to have a backup just in case, especially if something happens to my content. I have a lot of content in there. I think Rumble will be perfect for that. Let's see here. Thoughts by Jay Brown. Hey, what's up, my friend? I have to go into my admin settings to make more people moderators, but Thoughts by Jay Brown, I'll add you. I think I saw Kibamaki in there somewhere. I'll add you. So I'll take care of that. Okay, yeah, it is Dan. Okay, cool. So what I kind of want to do is I've been on Facebook talking to people who really want to have these discussions. I've been having people even message me saying, hey, Steve, where you been? I want to have a discussion with you on my channel, and I've been invited as a guest to talk about certain things. And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? We really do miss these discussions. I like having discussions on the Non Sequitur Show and my channel, and I'll continue to have them, and I'll probably use like Restream to do both. But I really want to make Rumble more specific to discussions with people, especially when it comes to philosophy, science, and current news. Now, I have teamed up with a few people, or at least trying to, one of which is Chris from Hereticals. He's migrating over to Rumble as well. If you remember Chris, he was a co-host on a show that I was doing called Over and Under. We really do want to start that up again, or at least some variation of it. He wants to do stuff on his channel, and I'm happy to be on. And we want to talk about things relating to politics, Trump, the elections, indictments, and things of that nature, which seems to be kind of current events. I also want to talk about freedoms, First Amendment freedoms, Second Amendment freedoms, and even to do Fifth, Sixth, and 14th Amendment freedoms for all I care. I think they're as interesting as the canonical 5. So he and I are going to get together, and we're going to start doing political stuff again. And again, I'm not a real strong political person. He has a degree in history, very strong in politics in Australia, but I do have an interest in it. So I'm not completely ignorant of what's been going on in the current news. But what I figure we'll do is we'll pick a current topic and just kind of have a panel discussion, have people be able to come in by link and invite only, and talk about what's been happening in the news. Just recently, well, actually, it's been a few weeks ago. I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, and I hadn't really decided whether I was going to make a non sequitur episode out of it or put it on my primary channel, just my Steve McCree channel. But I was going to do a show on protections of First Amendment rights, and they're not even rights; they're actually liberties. But there was a story of how far a search warrant allows the FBI to, or whoever's been investigating, to access your personal data on a phone, an iPhone, or which you have something in a safe. And so there was a company called Liberty Safe that I think kind of messed up in going over and above what the search warrant was talking about. So I want to do a show on that and get your guys' feel on what you think the intrusiveness of the government. How much do they have a right to step into your life and ask for things that's not specifically on the warrant that they're searching for? And should a company just automatically give them what they want? And should they allow coding in their features, in their programming, their software of the hardware, or even the hardware itself, that allows some kind of backdoor that gives these governmental officials access to the information? I think that's pretty scary. I mean, there was a whole thing with TikTok, which, of course, relating to the Chinese and how, the code sent the Chinese people personal information about the users. And that's actually 100% true. Nobody, I think, actually denies that. That's been long since well established and confirmed. And so when you have other companies such as Apple or Liberty Safes or other people that are saying, hey, look, we have built in these back doors, do they need to let people know about them? Do they have a right to keep it secret? Do they have a right to give it to the government to allow back doors to your information and to your personal stuff? That's I think what going to be my first real discussion that I'm going to have with Chris from Hereticals if we do Over and Under or some show like that, because I just find that to be a fascinating topic. So what I really want you guys to do for me is leave comments on this particular video of what you think the subject matter should be tailored more to, politics, philosophy, or science. But I mean, what would you like to talk about? What do you think in the current news or subjects that you would like to discuss? Now, somebody reached out to me and they wanted to have me on a panel talking about societal effects, something in regards to what's called rat utopia. If you're familiar with that, it was an experiment done a long time ago with rats, when basically if you give them everything they want, there's certain things that happen that changes their fundamentally in their society. And we see a lot of that stuff kind of seeing happen in the real world, or even the opposite. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in Seattle, a lot of stuff going on in Portland, Oregon, a lot of stuff going on in LA. I was going to talk about Target is now closing. I think I'm just going to make up some random number. You're not going to know the difference or care. But I mean, they're supposedly closing 9 major stores in major cities. A couple other companies are closing hundreds of stores. CVS is closing stores. I don't know if it was 9 or 900. I don't know. It was a lot. A lot of stores are closing. And then Bed Bath & Beyond is going out of business. They went bankrupt. So I see a lot of these bigger cities turning into like wastelands from Fallout 3. They look like they're something in the dystopian future. And it's just disconcerting to me. So I thought that would be an interesting topic as well. Should these businesses stick it out, and what kind of rights do they have as a business? Because people know that I do loss prevention. What right do people have to have access to the needs of basic things in a city? Obviously, housing, gas, water, and things of that nature. Not just natural gas, but I mean gas for cars too. But do they have access to prescription drugs? Do they have access to clothing? Do they have sufficient access to the necessary needs that these stores provide for where you live and how you live? Because if these big stores start moving out, there's going to be some major problems, because now the people living there have nowhere to go to get the stuff, and they have to travel further to get it. Cost of living is going to become even higher, and so I see a huge problem with a lot of these stores closing. I don't blame them. Don't get me wrong. I really don't. But I do think that it's going to have significant impact on these cities if they have not as well, already, I should say. By the way, as you can tell, I'm still not 100%, man. I have not been 100% for quite some time, and I know you guys hear me say it a lot. But if you can't tell that my voice is off, and you can't tell that I'm just not as cognizant, as I have been, there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of stuff going on. I know a few people in my inner circle kind of know some of the details, and I do appreciate them keeping it completely private. Thank you very much for that. Continue to do so. But I haven't really putting out a lot of stuff publicly. I put some stuff out the other day, but still there's far more out there. And I'm just going to keep that personal between me and the people that I've learned I can trust and people that I care about. My moderators, my friends, and things of that nature. And you all know who you are. Basically, if you're here, you're in that category. I think most of you kind of know what's going on. Some of you may not. I mean, I don't talk to Kimomaki that much or anything. But I trust him explicitly. And I don't talk to Jay Brown that much. And we probably should. I want Jay on the panel to talk about some things. And so Jay, you know what I'm talking about with the safety box. It wasn't even a safety deposit box. It was an actual gun safe actually. But we'll get into that when we actually have a stream on it and I get some panel members on it. But right now, let's take some questions from you guys while I still have somewhat of a voice. April says, in true Rumble fashion. Let me try here. April says, in true Rumble fashion, allow me to say, F the government. Oh, you know what? I think this is a Rumble. You can say fuck the government on Rumble, right? You ain't got to worry about anything. Rumble has, I guess, the highest level of free speech. So I appreciate that. If they want something, make them work for it. I kind of disagree with you on that, and let me tell you why. I do believe in social programs. I think everybody in their life has needed a helping hand. It's the abuse of those social programs that are the problem, and the de-incentivizing of people not to work when they are on those systems. Those are the problems. But you're never going to get far ahead when you're strictly on those systems and those government programs. You're always going to be at a very, very minimalist level in society, because once you reach a certain threshold, you have to let them know, and they discontinue your benefits, or they can get you and they can make you pay restitution. So I think that everybody needs a handout. I think as a society, we are ethically bound to treat the most lowest of the people on the social scale with the same basic human rights that anybody else should have. So even the people that are out there, they're living on the street, the homeless, the drug addicts, yes, I feel bad for them. No, do I think there's anything they really do to help them? But I still think they have basic rights. These people that go out and throw water on the homeless, kick the homeless, mock them, I find them to be morally detestable people. But I do think that the government should provide some kind of assistance to get them off the street, mental health care, food, maybe clothing, and most importantly, a place to stay, especially in the heat. In California, it got like 120 degrees here. People were dying out here, and I don't mean to be hyperbolic. They were literally dying. There's been people I walked by, I didn't know if they were dead or alive. And I don't know how they survived, because they're just sweating profusely. They always have a lot of clothes on, like they're bundled up for winter. And I don't know how they make it. And then most of them go to what's called a cooling center. So I do think that the government has a responsibility to pay for that from tax dollars. And I don't mind my tax money going to that. Chemo says, does the New World Order mean the YouTube channels are going to be defunct? No, not at all. Not at all. I'm going to keep them going as long as I can. I just think I'm going to probably have more of the controversial subjects over here, the ones that are less likely to get flagged by DMCAs. Again, the privacy strikes, I don't give a crap about. They're not going to, they don't count against your channel. And like I said, I've refuted all of them, and they've all come back. We either reinstated your video, or we found no problem. The only ones that had it, I'm still in review for, which they're going to come back fine. If not, whatever, 1 or 2 videos, who gives, whatever. I have 2,000 videos, but I want to make sure that I have a platform where I don't have to worry about people filing those false DMA strikes. That to me is my major consideration, because that will take down your channel. And people know that Charlie's channel was taken down. Now, granted, that had nothing to do with DMCA strikes, but it just shows you how easily people can lose everything they worked for. And so everything will be backed up on here, just in case that happens. I probably will eventually back everything up to the cloud. But at least there'll be a repository of my videos on a different platform should anything happen to my main channel because of these false DMA strikes. But I will be striving to stream to both. Flying Mom. Hi, Flying Mom. Yeah, Jay Brown was a gun safe. And the gun safe, I mean, I can tell you the story, and we're going to bring people up, if you're interested, bring people up on a panel on a future date, because it'll at least give you an idea of what I want to talk about. So Liberty Guns had a gun safe that they had built in a back door that if somebody lost their password, they would be able to access it for the customer, which is a safety thing. And I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. Because that is a good design feature. Because if you lock yourself out of a safe, a gun safe, and you forgot your password and you have no way to get into it, we all know how frustrating it is when we lock ourselves out of social media. Can you imagine if you couldn't get to your guns, right? So they designed it properly, I think. However, they made a couple fatal mistakes. One, they didn't really inform the public that they have this option. It would only be known to people if you call them up and you say, look, man, I forgot my password. What do I do? And they'll say, okay, we'll give you a one-time password. Just provide your credentials. And that's, like I said, the back door to get into those Liberty safes. That should have been a little more public. The second mistake they made is that when they had a search warrant for a particular person that I think was involved in the, if I remember correctly, this was involved with the January 6th, quote, insurrection. I know Chris hates that word. He thinks it's not an insurrection. And maybe strictly speaking, maybe not, but very generally speaking, I'm going to call it insurrection, even if it's just to bug him. But it definitely was, some group of people going to the Capitol to try to overthrow at least some part of it to disrupt the election process. That's without question. I mean, the indictments and the people who have been arrested for that, that's what it's all been about, is that they were trespassing and disrupting the governmental process of a fair election. And so even though the search warrant didn't specifically state for the gun safe, Liberty gave that information of how to get into the safe to the governmental agencies and allowed them access to it, even though it wasn't on the warrant. I think that's the problem. They should have not have done that. Unless the warrant was specific for Liberty to do that, what they did was they basically said, hey, look, man, we're going to compromise your stuff to anybody who asks for it. Oh, you want access to the gun things? We're going to give it to you. Now, Apple had a very similar thing. Apple wasn't with the January 6th insurrection. It was dealing with somebody who was wanted for a crime. I don't remember the details. I got to refresh. I looked into this like 4 weeks ago. But they told the government, piss off. You can go fuck yourself. We're not gonna unlock the phone for you. We're not gonna give you the access to the phone. Get a warrant for Apple, which they couldn't do. And you might say, but hey, Steve, this could be some horrific crime. You're right, and it sucks. But I staunchly believe that if we don't protect the rights of people, then the innocent people are going to get harmed. So our whole judicial system is based upon the predication that it is more morally proper or good for a guilty man to go free than an innocent man to go to jail. That's been the whole basis for the system in America. Other countries, not so much. But in America, that's our foundation of our judicial system. And so I would rather see a criminal get, I don't even care what the crime is, go off scot-free for one time, because they're going to get their punishment at some time. I do believe the long game. People deserve to get their punishment somehow, and karma is slow, but karma eventually gets there. But I do believe that if we start violating the rights of the individual, it's going to have a far more terrifying effect on society than if we start allowing government into our lives where we just give them everything. So that was the story on that. And like I said, me and Chris are going to talk about it more in depth when he's available sometime next month. And if you're interested in that discussion on First and Second Amendment rights, leave a comment in the comment section. Let's see what else. Is the internet across a basic utility yet? No, not yet, Chemo. Although I think that the internet should be a basic utility, but unfortunately it's not yet. That's been the whole thing for a very long time when it comes to net neutrality. And so I think it is a kind of a fundamental right for people in society in the year 2023 that they have some kind of internet access. It may be 30, 40 years ago, but I mean, it is so ubiquitous now, and everything's tied to the internet. I mean, if we're not cyborgs by the year, 33,000, then I'll be very disappointed, even though I won't be around. But I think that right now, everything in your life is tied to the internet. All your information, everything about you, your digital signature. And I think that it's just going to be the way it is. And I happen to like that. I don't mind it. But that's, at the same token, people have to have their privacy rights. And recently my privacy has been invaded. And it gave me a very jaunting wake-up call in a very positive way. And even though I was going to make some changes, I've been procrastinating them, and this last couple months has forced me to make major changes, and I think it's going to be for the best, and it motivated me. It really did. And so there's a positive outcome to some things. And at least, you guys, can help me port people over here, because I think this is going to be a better platform for what I do. And I am going to push my Patreon more. I don't think you have what's called member benefits on this channel, so I'm going to keep those on my other channel, because I'm going to be streaming here and there. So if you have membership on my other channel, that's going to, even though it has not an effect here, I know mentally that it will, but I still will be doing stuff every so often just on my YouTube channels, and maybe just on Rumble. Like, this is just a Rumble, and then I'll have ones that cross over. So don't think that I'm migrating everything over. Don't don't take away your memberships on my YouTube channel. But what I'll probably do is push my Patreon more if I start getting more active, because I want to start streaming twice a week. I know I've been saying it, but I really want to. I really want to do more. I feel a little bit better than I used to, even though, like I said, I'm not 100%. I wasn't doing great a couple weeks ago. So I figure I want to do what I want to do while I can, That comment was in regards to search and seizure, not taxes or social programs. Oh, okay. Just so I'm not misrepresented. I got you. Fuck the government. Yeah. And that's what's funny, too, because I am for smaller government. I'm not a conservative. I am somewhat fiscally conservative, but I'm certainly not conservative when it comes to social programs. And when I was a conservative, it was a lot different form of the Republican Party. A lot different. I mean, the Republican Party 40 years ago is a huge difference than the Republican Party today, which is the Overton window has just absolutely shattered. It's just mind-blowing, the stuff that goes on in politics. And I'm so sick of the same people running all the time. I'm so sick of the same names all the time. I mean, you got people, I mean, look at, I'm sorry, I didn't really get into this, but look at like how old Joe Biden is. I mean, he doesn't know where he's at half the time. You got Mitch McConnell that's suffering from the same thing that he is. It just goes, it's like, Senator Connell, you okay? I peed myself. Yes. I mean, look, I'm not mocking people getting old. We're all going to get there, right? And I hope we all grow old gracefully. But these people are not in a position to be running the country. I'm sorry, they're just not. I'm not trying to be ageist, but eventually you have to know your limitations. I mean, you could be an Olympic runner, but I guarantee you're not going to run as well at 80 than you are in your prime at 23. It's just not going to happen. So we definitely need a better system to filter out the people that have made politics a career. I don't want to see Pence. I don't want to see Trump. I don't want to see Biden. I don't want to see AOC, although I kind of do like her a little bit. I don't want to see, Green, Majora Green, or whatever her name is. I don't want to see any of them, Breitbart, or whatever her name is. I can't stand them. I just can't stand any of these people. They never seem to care what the American people think, what their constituents think, and then they're such hypocrites. Country Girl Brenda, good to see you, by the way. I hope things are going well for you. I really been glad that you've been hanging in there and trying to promote your stuff on YouTube. Really, I thought you were going to give up there for a while, and I'm so glad you did it. Bad liberty safe. Bad. Yeah, April. And it's funny you say that Apple has been turning down law enforcement for years, and that has been a major selling point for Apple. But the downside to Apple, which was a opposite than a major selling point, was the fact that Apple was very proprietary. I mean, they made their stuff proprietary. This was the whole. Remember the old was it the Lionel Group? Was that his name? The Richmond Group. Lionel, was it Lionel Richmond? The guy that has sued Apple and then kind of figured out for people that Apple had went out of their way to make proprietary hardware that couldn't be unlocked, couldn't be changed, couldn't be modified, and if you needed any kind of parts, that go straight from them. And this led to a huge lawsuit, which is what they called the right to repair. Majority Taylor. Yeah. Oh God, she's stupid. Majority Green Taylor, I think is how she pronounces her name. But if you guys remember the whole right to repair thing, that was a very big thing back in, it had to be about a decade ago. So, but again, I think they've learned their lesson. I think they're coming around to have a little bit more ability to fix things. But I do like the fact that they don't give up stuff easily to the government. I really do. Nor should they. Let's see here. Louis Rossman. Yeah, Rossman Group. That's it. Dang it. You guys know, I've got to tell you, I'm so bad at names. You know why? Because honestly, I don't care what somebody's name is. I know that sounds bad, and you can quote me all you like. I don't care. But I just don't care what somebody's name is, because if I'm not friends with them, if I'm not having any kind of personal connection with them, they're just somebody that I read in the news, and I don't really care. And I'll probably butcher who they are because it tells me, or tells others, I just say that I don't really give a damn about them. I mean, although Louis Rossman, he seems like a pretty upright guy. I do watch some of his videos, actually. And I appreciate the fact that he was working to help people be able to buy products to fix their own stuff, or to go to a repair store and not have to spend 3 to 5 to 10 times the amount having to go to somebody who's authorized and certified to get a specific part. The similar things happen in the car industry, right? You buy a a Jaguar, you buy a BMW, you buy a high-performance sports car, Lamborghini, Maserati, anything like that, you're going to have to find an Audi. You have to find very specific people that know how to work on those types of cars. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, some BMWs, a simple oil change requires hours of work and thousands of dollars worth of parts and labor. Who wants that? And the fact you can't just go down to your local, Jiffy Lube or whatever and say, hey, I need to fix my brakes, or I need a radiator flush. No, you need to have people that are highly trained in those types of cars. And the other ones won't even touch it. By the way, how many people got? Oh, we got 28 here. That ain't bad. That's more than I thought. I'm happy. We've got 28 now. Then we'll see if we can beat that next time I stream. But like I said, what I want to do, I have to fix the live chat. Obviously, I don't have the live chat running over here. Wait, no. There you go. I don't know which way I am. There you go. I don't have that running yet because I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. Well, you know what? I think I could figure that out. Yeah, you know what? I can do that. Let me fix that before we kind of wrap this up here, and I will try this. Let's see if this works. Window capture. Nope, that ain't it. Nope, that's not it. I'm gonna have to add it in. Yeah, I thought I had a browsing capture. I mean, I can, but I have to set the script for it, for the colors and things of that nature. But I can add a source real quick and at least get it up there for next time. So let me see here. Okay, just to show you that I did figure it out, but I'm gonna add a CCS to it, and oh my goodness. It doesn't let you resize it. I mean, I've got it here. See, look. I've got it here, but I haven't figured out how to resize it yet. So I'm going to work on that. I'll get that figured out because I can't resize it. Oh wait, I can't resize it. Okay. So what I'm going to have to do is add the script to make it transparent because I like that. But it's just being really fussy right now. I don't have it locked or anything. It's just fussy. So, oh well. Let's go back and move it. There you go. I am on a PC. I'm on a pretty decent PC. It's a few years old. I've had it since 2007. But I gotta tell you, it's been a good gaming rig and good streaming rig for a very long time. It's what I used for the Non Sequitur show. It plays Cyberpunk 2077 on Ultra, but not very well. I usually keep it on high, and that seems to work. It works great on mid, the mid level. But Cyberpunk 2077 takes a lot of graphics ability. As you guys know, my graphics card is bad. The fans went out on it. I do have a separate cooling fan that I took off from the case so that it wasn't going anywhere. And I basically use that now as a cooling fan. So it goes to about 188 degrees temperature, which is 3 degrees over what I like it to be at. But it doesn't get red in my monitor. It doesn't get red until 190 something, I believe, and give you a warning. So, I mean, the operating temperature for a graphics card, the high end generally is like 185. So 188 isn't too far out of perimeters. Sometimes I go down to 186. So I don't think I'm doing any major damage to my card because I've ran it that way for about a year now. And a friend of mine has offered me a new card if I decide to take him up on it. A better card too, but I just haven't yet. You're asking Chemo if you're on a laptop. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Wasn't talking to me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pull a Katie Joy and make it about me on my stream. But what about me? What about me? No, I probably froze while I was doing something. So, I mean, let's see. It just looks. I don't know why this looks so granulated to me. Like I said, it's on 720. Does it show 720? Does it show playback settings to you guys? Quality. Oh no, just see, it's only showing 640 to me. Let me see if I can fix that. That's why maybe it looks so bad to me. Let's see. Yeah, my quality, it was only doing 640 by 360. That's why it looks so bad. So I'll look at this video when it's all done, because when I put it on a higher setting, it does look better. So that makes a big difference, because 360 is pretty bad. 720 is good. I stream at 720. I don't see a reason to stream at 1080. Maybe you're doing some high-end gaming where you really want those graphics to kind of come across when you're in ultra, but it's weird. Of course, it's about me, Jay. Come on. What, have you met me? Chrome key, yeah, the Chrome key is grainy. That's because of my lighting, and I usually have a back source here, but I didn't. I have a couple of different ways of doing a back source. I have a flashlight, but I don't have the flashlight with me because I left it at work. But I've got this little thing here, which makes a really good backlight, believe it or not. It diffuses, and I paid like $3 for this, $2. It was cheap as hell, but it worked amazing to get a nice backlight. But I don't have that on because I haven't tested it out, because I just bought a new USB hub, and it's just, well, I can't really show it, but I bought a powered USB hub. God dang it, it's so full right. Should have left it where it was. And I bought I have a Passport external drive, solid state drive, that I'll play like Cyberpunk on, because the other day, if you guys remember, when I messaged you guys on Twitter, I said, hey, look, I got a problem. I couldn't run my Focusrite microphone, my Passport, which is a solid state device, my hard drive, and anything else together on my USB ports on my computer. You know what's funny is I actually had Microsoft message me and allow me to do a direct message to them, and they actually tried to help me. Microsoft support did, which was pretty cool. But I did troubleshoot, and I did find the problem to be the voltage, or I suspect the voltage was much too low on the USB bus, because certain ports weren't putting out enough to provide sufficient current to my microphone, which has a 48-volt power supply. It's a phantom power supply for the mic, because it's a condenser mic. Nor power my solid state device, nor power my ring light or anything else. So I have my ring light on a 3-amp separate system, and then I put my Focusrite and my Passport on this external USB hard drive that's powered, and that provides the voltage. So basically, as I understand it, it just gets the data using a special cord from the USB bus, but it doesn't draw any amperage, any current from the USB bus on the computer, because that is bad, and I may have blown something. Now, you're supposed to have overcurrent protection, but we all know how well that stuff works, because I really do think I did physical damage to the bus, but this was a great substitute at a pretty reasonable rate to fix it. I fixed it myself, but I mean, I just got to buy parts. But it probably would have cost 5 times that if I would have had to take it to somewhere to get it diagnosed. I can fix the chroma key a little bit and adjust for the lighting. I just have to go here and let me see here. Filtering. No, wait. It's in filters, isn't it? Let me see if this works a little bit. There's filters. There we go. Chroma key. Let me see if this works. No, that's the opposite. Oh, no. Ah, where'd I go? Where'd I go? Oh my God, I just faded into there we go. So this is my green screen. You see the dark patch there? That's why it's getting grainy, because it's a different color green. So as I increase my similarity, it starts filling it in with my background. But if you go too far, then you just vanish into space and you fade away into nothing. We just become stardust. So. That's only, yeah. I'll put my background light on there next time. But, hey, you know what? Blame April. April said she wasn't really interested in the graphics, so I blame her. you're running at 980. I can run. I run 4.5 megabits per second at 720p. It might be a little high. I was using 3500 for a while. I switched it to no. I run 4,000. So I'm running 4,000 right now. I just find it to be a nice high end number for 720. But it can go down to 300, 3,500, no problem. 3.5. If you're going to a high definition, because 720 is technically high definition, although it's not to me true high definition, but it's technically high definition. I think you should probably be running 6, 7, 8,000 megabits per second if you can for high definition. Yeah. My Focusrite is a studio. It's a second generation studio, so it's an audio interface with phantom power for the condenser mic, but it's also my headphones. It's both, Dan. Hey, Dan, are you going to be able to come on panels to have discussions like the old days? Would you like to do that? I know, Jay, you're going to come on. April, maybe. Chemo, maybe. Let's see here. But yeah, I definitely wanted to get some discussion with you, Jay Brown. I missed you, man. I have not been as sociable as I once was, and I do apologize to everybody that I don't keep in touch with. I messaged out to a few people, but there's just no way that I can really just reach out to all the people I know and ask them how they're doing. But at least in some way, I'm trying to. But I'm going to wrap this up. I just want to do a test stream, and I think I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I did make the people the moderators I wanted to make moderators, although I know I need to make some more, which you know what? I'm able to do it right now. So Kimamaki! Fuck Kimamaki. I'm kidding. I kid. All right, Kimamaki, you are now a moderator. It takes up to 10 minutes, though, so don't get all freaked out. Jay Brown, you are now a moderator. Country Girl Brenda, you're not around enough, but maybe eventually if you want it. I don't know, my silly. Meg already made you. April. Flying Mom, I don't know. I mean, Flying Mom, I'm happy to make you a moderator. Absolutely, you've been supporting my channel forever. If you're still around, I just don't know if you want to be a moderator. I just you weren't over there, so I didn't think you wanted it. Let's see here. All right, like I said, I think I've accomplished all that I want to accomplish. So I really want to thank you guys for migrating over here. I'll figure out a way to kind of differentiate between the stuff that I keep on YouTube and the shows that I do on YouTube and what I do over here, because I think over here it's going to be a lot more visceral. It's going to be a lot more, I guess the old non sequitur days where people are just like, "You're a fucking idiot," kind of stuff. I know you love that. Maybe I get some flat earthers over here. Yeah, well, I mean, you were a submariner, Jay, so I mean, I don't hold that against you, but I mean, your responsibility on the sub was just to make sure that water stayed on the outside of the hull. Not a big freaking responsibility, man. All right, like I said, do me a favor, leave me a comment, what you think, what you want to see as far as topics, help promote the Rumble, and we'll just go from there. Oh, my silly. Okay. 1 second. Oh, okay. She's Haley Berry. Okay, got it. I love you, Haley Berry. I just let's see here. Or you know what? I moved on from Haley Berry. Have you seen Selma Hayek lately? Oh my God, Selma Hayek posted a video of her. Video of her, and she's like 58. And oh my God, I am sorry, but she looks better than probably 95% of people in their 20s. I mean, that woman at 58 is absolutely freaking stunning. Just mind-blowingly stunning. And when people say they got some good genes, holy God almighty, she got some good genes. All right. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. And like I said, my big push now is just to get people to subscribe to this channel and go from there, because I don't know how the metric works to promote the videos. I think when you have a Rumble player, they do help promote it. I'm not quite sure, but even still, we're just going to kind of go from there. So I appreciate it, guys. Maybe I'll upload this video later on to YouTube just so people that didn't watch it over here can watch it over there. We'll see. I can do that because my licensing agreement allows me to have videos on both platforms. I did not give exclusivity to Rumble because I still have my partnership with YouTube, and I plan to keep that. So with that, guys, thanks for joining me tonight, and we will catch you later. Thank you. Good night.